So there's this place kind of near my house where people just dump garbage, just like an old gravel pit or something. Pretty recently I found what I'm pretty sure is a flyback transformer from an old television there. And a little bit of backstory to this. About in 2013 I found an old tube TV there that was covered partially in dirt. I looked and looked for a flyback transformer, couldn't find any, found some wire, found a bunch of broken vacuum tubes, found, this was an old tube TV in the 50s or 60s or whatever, found a few, just kept looking for the flyback transformer and couldn't find it. Well, now, the other side of the gravel pit, I found a bunch of other tube TV equipment, where it was just two broken vacuum tubes and stuff, so I assumed this would be part of it. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a radio or something at first, but I found this, which is pretty, almost 100% sure is a flyback transformer. And as you can see, it's completely buried in dirt. Grass was growing on it. I think it also was probably submerged in water a few times, because all of that garbage gets disappeared underwater during the summertime when it floods. So this, if it's actually a flyback, that's where the high voltage output is. This one might not even have an internal rectifier, in which case it's going to be able to output AC or then DC if I rectify it later. There's lots of cracks on the surface of this potting. All this material has cracks in it, which makes me think the wiring inside might be cracked or might have internal shorts. So I'm going to wash it really quick. Alright, so now I've washed this thing off with the hose. I can use some pressurized water to spray out some of the grass and dirt and stuff. Now it's more recognizable for what it is. Just let it drip dry tonight and see how the windings work in the morning. Like I said, I'm not very hopeful in the insulation of this thing is so cracked, but it might still work. I'm also not sure about getting a contact into the inside of that hole where the high voltage wire used to be. Yeah, we'll let it drip dry, then apply power tomorrow. Alright, so I dried this thing overnight, left it out in the sun for a little while after that. I soldered 2 coils of 13 turns on it. The center tap, joined together in the middle, center tapped. Using the jewel thief circuit, or blocking oscillator circuit, the same as I did for the ignition coil. And basically, for those who don't know, a flyback transformer has some gaps in its core. So it takes more current to magnetize it to any certain level of field strength inside the core. And then when it has a higher current running in the winding, and then it's quickly broken, the circuit's broken, and that creates a pulse as high voltage and high current available in both windings. It comes out through the output electrode at lower current because of the turns ratio, but it's more than you'd expect just from the turns ratio and the power going in. It's basically an ignition coil that works at a higher frequency. As far as a connection at the top, I just pushed a wire in here. I melted some solder under it, but it wouldn't stick. There's a lot of rust down in there. I'll have to figure out a better connection. Running out on 2 6-volt batteries in series. And at least for this test. And I'm gonna turn it on. Immediately you can hear an arcing. Got about 1/4 of an inch. Maybe less right now, it's like 3/16 of an inch. Current draw according to this is about 370 milliamps, 12 volts, but that could be wrong because this is a pulsating waveform. It's not, multimeter's not going to tell that exactly. This little stick is this little pin is for me to manipulate it without getting shocked. Yeah, I'm kind of impressed. This thing was in water for years. You saw it look like an ancient artifact buried in dirt, with grass growing through it, everything. I'm gonna put this on. It's definitely working. This isn't an ideal driver, but it's a crude way to switch power off and on. Basically, whenever the power rises through this and whenever it stabilizes, it stops sending a signal and it trips this. I talked about it more in a previous video with the ignition coil. And it also, you can find more about it online. It's a jewel thief or blocking oscillator circuit. And I'll get a better driver for this thing, but it proves that it works, which is more than I kind of was expecting. And I'll see you guys next time.